Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Let me see here. What's going on here? Okay. Man, there's always some kind of a technical difficulty, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you that right now. How's everyone doing? Hey, can you give me a 1? I'm getting a 5x5, so I'm coming in okay, at least good enough for you to hear me now. How you doing, Satoshi? Let me see. You are average grounded player. Grounded player. How you doing? Scott, how you doing? Good to see you. Loa, how are you doing? Rena, Lar. Jerry, how you doing? Dale is in the house. Nostradamus is in here. Italian Eddie's in the house. Who else do we got up in here? Sharon is here. How you doing, Sharon? Good to see you. Let's see. United States, Dale. How you doing, Dale? Good to see you as well. Let's see if we can get this going on up here. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to make this a really super long live stream unless you all have a lot of questions after I talk the talk, right? Hey, how you doing? Dirty like the government. Good to see you. Who else is in the house? Eva, how you doing? All right. So, like I said, I don't want to make this a super long live stream unless you all have a lot of questions afterwards. But I think that this week is going to be a very interesting week in the precious metals field, being that the Shanghai Exchange is closed for the week due to their Lunar New Year. So they're celebrating their New Year this entire week. And the exchange, the Shanghai Exchange, is going to be closed. I believe that the exchange at Hong Kong will be open. But what I'm thinking is that now that the Shanghai Exchange is going to be closed this week and they deal with pretty much physical, that maybe there can be a little bit of manipulation on the side of the West in order to cover some shorts that they've been probably wanting to cover for a little bit. I think there's still a few shorts in there. And to tell you the truth, I think that we need to, in order to go forward, go ahead and touch that 200-day moving average in order to continue to go up. So I'm going to tell you the good things about the situation, and then I'm going to tell you the not so good things, all right? So the good, bad, and the ugly, right? There's a couple of other things that I've been looking at as a layman, ladies and gentlemen. So whenever I talk about things that can affect someone's finances, it's as a layman. I'm not a financial advisor. I have to say that because I am on the internet. I know that a lot of people are very optimistic as far as what's going on with the nominal price of precious metals thus far this year. Even with that big hit that we took on silver and gold here not too long ago. However, we want to be optimistic, and I'm very optimistic long term, right? But we also want to be realistic, right? So, because a lot of people jump into the fire when the fire is at the hottest. For example, I'm sure that a lot of people are jumping in when silver hit $120, $115 an ounce. And now, since they didn't do too much research, maybe getting into it, maybe now they're feeling like they made a mistake. Well, I'm here to tell you, my opinion is that in the long term, I would even say mid to long term, not even long term like it's in years. I'll say mid to long term, that holding physical is going to be the place to be because it's going to protect your purchasing power, right? I did a small shout out to Alpha Omega Gold, which is a sponsor of this channel, on a few of my videos showing that in 1989, when I graduated high school, at that time, when silver was at about $100 or so an ounce, that 1 ounce of silver in 1989 could buy you 3 Big Macs. And at that time, when silver was about $100 an ounce, 1 ounce of silver could buy you roughly anywhere between 18 to 20 Big Macs or so. And I would say that an ounce of silver today is still pretty close to $100 because the spot price is saying that it's 70 something dollars. Go ahead and try to find yourself some silver for 70 something dollars. It's probably closer to 100 than it is to the spot price, unless you're lucky enough to live within the vicinity of a local coin store, LCS, that treats you really good because you built a relationship with them. So let me explain to you really quick for those of you that don't know why it is that local coin stores, good ones, they have to be good ones, all right, that care about their community, just like the one that I patronage, which is called Alaska Rare Coins. Good ones, they'll do is they'll buy for the community and they'll sell to the community. And they'll try to stay away as much from wholesalers as they can, meaning that if they buy some silver from you, they'll keep it and they'll offer you a fair price, either at or under spot, or in some cases, let's say in the case of American Silver Eagles, you may get a little bit over spot because they have a much higher premium. But when they go back to sell it, they don't follow the crowd. They don't follow the internet sellers, right? That are selling it for $10, $15 over spot. They sell it enough so that they can pay the lights, make a profit so that they can pay for their living expenses as well. Because it is a business. And if you don't make profits, you're not going to be able to pay the bills, right? So if you find a good local coin shop, you're going to be buying it probably not too much above spot price. So that's one of the good things about holding silver long term and gold, because you're going to retain your purchasing power. Yes, it doesn't do anything. When I put this down on my computer here, it's going to sit there until I move it or until something else forces it to move. It's not going to make me any money. It's not going to pay me any interest. It's not going to pay me any dividends, but it will preserve my purchasing power, as I've just explained to you using an example with Big Macs. All right, but you can go ahead and substitute many other things in there for Big Macs, ladies and gentlemen. So that's one of the good things that we're looking at as far as the precious metals go in the era that we're living in right now. Another good thing that will affect the price of precious metals going forward, especially silver, is that, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot print silver out of thin air. You cannot just manufacture it like the COMEX manufactures it, or the CME or the LBMA over in London, and say, okay, we're going to go ahead and trade 1.9 billion ounces of silver today in the paper market, even though that many ounces in physical aren't even mined in 1 year, and they're not in possession of. So that's pretty much what you call naked shorting, meaning that they're pushing paper out there and they know that the amount of silver they're pushing in paper contracts do not exist. And they're doing that in order to, in my opinion, manipulate the market enough so that the price will go down, help out their banker buddies, get rid of short contracts, and also at the same time so that their buddies, their elite friends can go ahead and buy on the cheap, right? So that system, in my opinion, the not too, far off future is going to come to an end. And why is that? Because we live in a world today where physical silver is needed for almost everything that we do in life. I would venture to say that everything that you have, everything that you need, there is a component of silver to it. Even the carrots that you eat. Right? Because in order to farm, you need machinery, and that machinery needs silver. Even if something that is produced that has zero silver in it probably has a component of silver in it, because something that was used to make it needs silver. So we need silver in almost everything, if not everything, that we use today to sustain the standard of living that we have, at least in the first world. Okay, silver is running out above ground. You see, if you were to ask someone that wants to push a narrative that, oh, we've got plenty of silver, they would tell you, yeah, almost all of the silver that's ever been mined, or if not, all of the silver that's ever been mined is still above ground. And that is true. And that is a fact that can be used to manipulate and confuse people that really don't know too much about silver, its needs, and its uses. You see, all of the silver that's ever been mined, except for maybe some silver that's in satellites and stuff that's out in outer space, right? That's not on Earth. But almost all that's ever been mined is still sitting above ground. But what they fail to tell you is this, is how much of that silver that's been mined, that's been sitting above ground and is sitting above ground is usable silver. You see, only about 95, maybe 96%, or let me reword that. About 95 to 96% of all of the silver that's ever been mined since the beginning of mankind, and they started doing it, that's above ground, it's not usable. It's in landfills, it's in electronic waste, e-waste, it's in things that the amount of energy that it would take to recycle that silver out of those components, out of landfills, is more than what it costs to mine it out of the ground and or to buy it from retail investors to go ahead and send it to the refinery and refine it into bars that industry can use. So the question is that 96% of silver that's not usable right now and would have to be recycled, at what cost would it take for a company to actually go out there and recycle that silver? For example, they did a study here a couple years back where they came up with the number 300, saying that it would cost $300 per ounce in order to go to landfills, extract the silver, and then be able to refine it. And that's not even including the premium they would have to add on top of that. So the other 4% of this, all the silver that's ever been mined, is readily available. And those numbers I've come up with anywhere between 2.5 billion to 4 billion ounces, which, ladies and gentlemen, when we are using over 1 billion ounces a year and only mining 800 million ounces a year, that deficit is going to chew up the available silver in a quick hurry. But at what price will it chew it up? And price is not everything. I think that ounces is everything, but price is what determines how fast those ounces will be consumed by industries and by stackers, ladies and gentlemen, and by governments, by the military-industrial complex. So those are a lot of the good things that silver has going on for it right now. I don't believe personally that silver or gold are something that you use in order to get wealthy, in order to get rich. Although I do believe that in the coming years, people that are holding silver and gold are going to become wealthy because it has the price, the nominal price, the value of it, the actual value that it has to humanity has been suppressed by the nominal price for so many decades that eventually that beach ball that's 100 feet below water is going to shoot right up to the surface and keep going. And that's, in my opinion, long-term speaking, that is what silver and gold are in right now. It's called a reverse bubble. Everyone keeps saying, oh, silver's in a bubble. Silver's in a bubble. It's going to crash. No, it's not. It's still in a very bullish long-term pattern. And I don't believe that that curve is going to go down anytime soon. It's going to keep going up as long as they keep printing money, as long as we keep innovating new technologies that need more silver. That silver's value, the value, not necessarily the price, the value is going to keep going up. And usually when the value goes up and the amount that's available goes down, the price is going to go up even faster than the value of it does. So those are the good things that's going on about silver right now. Those are the things that I think that's going to make silver and gold, also mainly silver, in my perspective, in my opinion. Those are the things that's going to make it continue to go up in the long term. Would I recommend to anyone to buy X number of dollars of silver if they want to hold it for a month or a year so that they can buy a house with it? I would definitely not. Right? Silver is a long-term play, and silver is used, in my opinion, to preserve your purchasing power, to keep governments, to keep central banks from taking away your labor through the power of inflation. And for those of you that don't know what inflation is, it's just the increase of the money supply. They keep printing money, making those dollars that they print, or whatever currency it may be in your prospective country, making that currency more and more and more diluted. And as it becomes more diluted, what happens? it is worth less. It can buy you less. And let me go ahead and I would say that that's the first segment, all right, of this live stream. It's going over the good things, all right, the good things that put silver right now in a very strong position to continue to rise in the long term. And then after I maybe take a couple of questions or a few comments, say hello to a few other of you, I'll go ahead and talk about the bad and the ugly. And I wanted to go ahead and share this with you because I love it when I hear good things about stuff that I review. All right. So when I review something, ladies and gentlemen, it's because I've looked at it, I've tried it, and I think it's a good thing. I'm like, hey, this is really cool. Right. And not too long ago, I reviewed that ion light. Where is it? It's right there, if you can see it. Right. It's right there. I reviewed this ion light, and here United States Dale says my salt lamp, which is the ion light, has been on for 24/7 for 18 days now. Excellent product. And I believe it's a great product at a very good price. And it's pretty awesome. It doesn't need batteries. All you need is some water and salt, and those little electrodes that it comes with, those little plates that it comes with, in my opinion, are a lot cheaper than having to buy batteries for a regular flashlight or lantern. And this thing even works when the water inside of it is frozen. So it's pretty much guaranteed to give you light whenever you need it, as long as you have some water and some salt. Now, remember to read the instructions in those if you get one, because as I saw that Dale said that he's had it on 24/7 for 18 days, and that's pretty impressive. But the instructions on there do tell you to clean it out and replace the water about every 10 hours or so. But that's a testament to what a good product that is. He's had it on for 18 days straight, and it's still going strong. Pretty awesome. I was pretty impressed with that thing. So if you are all interested in that, I did leave a link in the description of my videos, all of them. So go check it out if you'd like to. And it does help to support what I do right here with you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, who is here? Sleeping Bear. Love family, birds of a feather flock to. Hey, amen. Thank you for that. Let's see. Passionate Herbs is here as well. Prepping Artist is here. How you doing? Good to see you. Let me see. Trump One Ping Gong Lee. I have no idea what that's saying. I'm sure it'll click here later on. So how you doing there, Trump? Good to see you. Real Down Home Living. How you doing? Good to see you. Shelly is in the house. Let's see. If anyone has any questions throughout, just go ahead and put it all in caps. Or if you have any comments that you want to share, put it all in caps. And if it's while I'm talking the talk, go ahead and hold off. And that way I don't miss it, okay? So let's see. Let me say hello to a couple more of you here. One of Mine Rocks. How are you doing? Good to see you. Tab Peace in the house. Good to see you. I think I already said hello to Alan Greenspan, Mr. Sushi. Ladies and gentlemen, how come there be only 12 thumbs up? There's 180 people watching, or 195 now. You know, in all honesty, I can't even tell how many likes and stuff there are while I'm doing the live stream, because I use StreamYard, not the YouTube app to do my live streams. But I do appreciate those of you that take the second or so that it takes for you to give it a like, if you like it. Let's see. A reception is not good. I got a whole bunch of 1s and 5s, so I hope that it's good enough that you're hearing me okay. Let me go ahead and get my microphone here tilted there. That way, hopefully you can hear me all right at least. That's funny. I could 3D print an ounce of silver with an ounce of silver. Oh, I'm pixelated. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. Yeah, I apologize if the picture's not coming in all that great. In all honesty, I'm just doing you a favor, or the internet's just doing you a favor, so you don't have to take a look at this ugly mug at 1080p or higher resolution. But I do hope that you can hear me all right. To this day, I still run the internet using my hotspot off my phone. Let me place my phone over here. Maybe I can get a better signal that way. Okay. Let's bring it. It's 5x5 here. I guess it depends. A little bit fuzzy. Okay. Oh, look at that. We're up to 169 likes. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the video that I put out early this morning. If anything, just to support what I do, but it's an interesting video about Alaska wanting to pass a state sales tax. And even if you don't live in Alaska, it's a good one to watch so that you can keep up with what's going on in your state, especially if your state doesn't have a sales tax. I believe that sales tax is one of the things that destroys economies, right? It destroys economies because, believe it or not, even states that don't have a sales tax, they do have a sales tax. It's called regulations. When you go into a burger shop, all right, and let's say that state doesn't have a sales tax and they don't charge you any taxes when you purchase something from there. When you go into a burger shop, you're paying sales tax. It's just not called sales tax, because those businesses have to adhere to regulations A, B, C, all the way through Z, right? And those regulations that they have to adhere by, whatever it is, from whatever department of the government it may be, or the state or the federal or whatever, or local, those regulations cost them money. All right, those regulations cost them money. Name me a regulation that some business has to follow that doesn't cost them any money whatsoever. So that money that it costs them in order to implement, a satisfactory result that will equal to or match the regulation that was set for by the government, that's going to cost them money. What do you think they're going to pass that on to? That expense is going to be passed on to the consumer, you and I. So they're already charging a tax in the form of regulations or laws that they pass, but now they want to go ahead and tax us directly through a state sales tax. And I think that's just very dangerous for an economy, especially that the reason that they want to do it, and I'm sure it's not just in the case of Alaska, the reason they want to do it is because they cannot spend within their limits. They cannot spend what they have coming in, because government's job, ladies and gentlemen, is to grow bigger and stronger. If government's not growing, it's not doing the job that it's intended to do for itself. All right, not for us, but for itself. Government will continue to get bigger as long as the people let it get bigger. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look. All right, so for those of you that just joined in not too long ago, today I'm giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly on what's going on with gold and silver from a layman's perspective, and that's me. I already went over the good things, all right? And I was waiting to see if I had some questions so that I can answer them and then go to the things that I found. I've found primarily two things, all right, besides the things that I've talked to you about in the past, that I see as a big negative for the near term. But remember that for the long term, in my opinion, silver and gold only have one way to go. Let's see. Tab P has a question. When selling silver, how do they determine capital gains taxes? Do you have to provide a receipt to purchase price, to receipt a receipt to? I think I understand what you mean. How do they determine capital gains? Well, first of all, it has to be a reportable sale. So if, let's say, look this up. I'm not a CPA or financial advisor. I have to say that, okay, because I'm on the internet, of course. But look this up on Google. It'll pretty much break down by what type of silver or gold or what amount and all that kind of stuff it is that you're selling, if that's what you're doing, selling. Okay, but it'll tell you up to so many ounces or up to so many dollars. It's not reported to whatever agency it may be, so I don't say the name here, through the dealer. So if you go and sell, let's say, 5,000 ounces of silver to a coin shop, they're going to have to report that. They're going to have to report it. I forget the name of the form, 8829 or something like that. And then if they report it, you sure as heck better report it, right? And capital gains, I do believe that on precious metals right now is thievery, ladies and gentlemen, thievery. It's in the amount of, I believe, about 28% or something like that. And that's why I'm not really going to sell any of my silver or gold for a very long time, because when I do, I want it to be high enough where 28% of my profits won't do anything to me. I'll be like, okay, I'm selling silver at $600 an ounce. Even if it's in 10 years, ladies and gentlemen, I don't mind waiting. I'm selling silver at $600 an ounce. Well, they're going to charge me $150 an ounce. Okay, I still get $450 an ounce, after taxes, etc. Because I do believe long term that silver will see those numbers, and especially with the debt growing and with the QE that the government has announced. They spent, I think they printed like $90 billion already since the beginning of the year, something like that. Around $90 billion of freshly created money, ladies and gentlemen, or fiat currency has been pumped into the economy. And we're not going to feel that right away, but we will feel it in the months and years to come. Just like we didn't feel that inflation right away when they started printing those trillions and trillions of dollars during the 2020 to 2023 or so time frame. And we didn't feel it right away. But I'll tell you what, are you feeling it now? Are you feeling it now that it costs the average American family roughly $1,000 to $1,200 a month more to sustain the same standard of living that they had before 2020? So all of those stimmy checks that we got and that people were sharing about on the internet, yeah, you got your $3,000-$4,000 depending on how many people were in your household. But now you get stuck paying in excess of $1,000 a month just to be able to live the same way you were living before, but not only for a year or two or three, but forever, right? And this money printing, it can never stop. As long as we are in the same monetary system that we are in today, the money printing will never stop, especially if we are a world reserve currency, the Federal Reserve note, i.e. US dollar. It's not going to stop. And when they start to tokenize everything through the banks, it's going to require even more cash coming into the system. So inflation, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what they tell you on the news. I don't care what CPI print comes out at 0.2 or whatever like that, or 2.4 or 2.5 for the year annualized. I don't care what they tell you. You all know, because you live in the real world, that inflation in the price of things is a lot more than what it is that they tell you that it is on paper. So that's another great reason why you should be protecting your purchasing power. Okay, let's see. Forrest, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, it was definitely a lot less than that. Okay, but don't call them. They don't really want to do any more shipping. All right, because shipping is pretty dangerous nowadays. But anyways, north of the 50-second says, what was the premium on silver the last time you went to Alaska Rare Coins? I think that for bullion, for rounds and not silver eagles, I think it was like $4, $4 or $3, something like that. But for silver eagles, I think it was like $7 or $8, something like that. But I know it's a lot less than the sites that you go on. Let's see. Okay, let's bring it down a little bit. Okay. Let's see. We have disabled and prepping. How you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. If a silver round is above $100, but you only have $100 budget, what would you get instead of a silver round? That's a great question. Now, I'm not telling you what to do, ladies and gentlemen. I keep saying that because this is the internet, and the times we live in is pretty crazy. So this right here is a 90% silver quarter. It goes by two names. It goes by Constitutional Silver because it's minted by the U.S. Mint, or it was minted by the U.S. Mint. And it also goes by the name of junk silver, right? Because the U.S. government pretty much threw these coins away, not for real, but they took them out of circulation because why? Well, because this is real money, ladies and gentlemen. And if you put real money next to fiat currency, something is going to happen, and it's called Gresham's Law. People will gravitate to this, stock this up, and save this and hoard it and get rid of their fiat currency because they know what real money is. Not fiat currency, but this silver. This silver quarter right here, I think right now one of these goes for like $12 or something like that, but or $15, something like that. But let's see, disabled and prepping. So if you only have $100 and you can't get a full silver round with it, depending on where you're getting it from, then you can always go to a coin shop and you can buy $1 face value, $1 face value of quarters, which I think right now is probably going for about $60, something like that. So you can do it like that, or you can get dimes, or you can get half dollars, etc. Or you can get fractional silver, pure silver. You can get grams of silver. You can get 10th ounces of silver, half ounces of silver. Although the fractional silver, in addition to fractional gold, is going to have a higher premium. Let me see if I got one of these over here. Oh yeah, look at this. This is a 10th ounce silver coin right here. See, 10th ounce silver coin. You can get something like that. You can get something like this right here. If you wanted to get gold, I think that these personally, I'm not saying anything bad about the gold backs, but I think that these personally are better than having gold backs. This is 1 grain of silver. See, excuse me, 1/4 of a grain of silver. All right, and they come in these little cards. Now, how many grains of, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, let me back up. This is 1/4 of a grain of gold. Okay, not silver, gold. Right? How many grains are there in a troy ounce of gold? There's 480, but this is 1/4. So this is 1/1960th of an ounce or troy ounce of gold. Right? And I pick these up as novelties so that I put them in my pocket. Sometimes I give them away as gifts, conversation starters, things like that. But when you take a look at this, it doesn't look like much. But if you study Zimbabwe during their economic or financial collapse back in, I think it was around 2008, 2009, sometime in that time frame, during their economic collapse, shops and food stores stopped taking any kind of currency. They stopped taking their fiat currency altogether. If you wanted to eat, you were going to have to find some gold. And the little bit of research that I did, I found that the average person required about 1/10 of a gram of gold per day in order so that they can buy enough food to keep from starving. So something like that, something like 1/4 of a grain of gold, that right there would have probably done the trick. Wow, this is crazy. 1 gallon of regular pasteurized milk is $10.68. No wonder that's incredible. Wow. I haven't gone to the store in a really long time. I think I'm going to go tomorrow. I got to get some more meat, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll have to see what things is there. I have to say that I agree with you, Forrest. I have to say that I agree 100%. Hey, Stormy, how you doing? Good to see you all the way from man, I forget what the Washington State, the Evergreen State. I lived there for a while. Let's see. Barn Monster, how you doing? AP, we will not see any more years. It is all going to end. Oh, my man, I see the EMP coming soon. Well, if the EMP does come, or a CME from the sun does come, that sets us back 100 or 200 years as far as technology and our standard of living, I would hope that before anyone, only because we're talking about silver and gold, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't mean that I think that this is the first thing that you should put away. I think it's important to have it, but I think that the wealth, in my opinion, the wealth that you put into storing gold or silver should be what I call excess wealth. It means wealth that you have left over after you have an emergency fund, after you have all your preps, your food, your water, your medicine, electricity backup, gas, etc. Once you have your preps in order so that you can survive for X number of days or weeks or months, or preferably a year or more, then I would say that you are ready to start stacking some hard or sound money so that it can protect your purchasing power going forward. Okay, so it could be anything can happen, ladies and gentlemen. Anything can happen. A meteor can strike today and it's all over, right? But that doesn't mean that you don't want to prepare yourselves for anything, okay? I believe that we all have a duty on this planet. We were put here for a reason, and I believe that no matter how bad circumstances may get, and this is my belief, I believe that we have a duty to stay alive and stay here as long as we possibly can, because we were put here for a reason, and it was not to give up. All right. It was to keep going forward no matter what. I wish you can all smell my apartment, ladies and gentlemen, because I've got some short ribs in my pressure canner, or my pressure cooker, not canner. And I've got some seasoning that Evita from Evita Cooks sent me in there with it, and it smells delicious. Margarita, hey, thank you, Margarita. Thank you very much for that super chat. We all appreciate. Oh, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. This is really one of the highlights of my week. And I was going to have a live stream yesterday, but I was getting ready to set it up, and then my son had the day off work, so he come down here with my grandson, with Michael, and we ended up just hanging out for the rest of the evening. So I was like, no, I don't have to have a live stream today. We'll hang out. You know, we had 3 generations, man, 3 generations hanging out on the couch there, just watching movies. So I had a great time. Always a good time. Yeah, I think junk silver is great to have. It's not very much loved right now because you can probably pick it up for under spot. And that's because the refineries right now, they're so backed up trying to fill all of the orders from industry, right? The 1,000-bar order from industry that they're like, well, we're not going to go ahead and refine any 90% or 925 silver right now. So they stopped taking it from dealers, from local coin shops. And they're concentrating more on 999 and 49 silver, which is pretty much pure silver, so that they can turn them into the 1,000-ounce bars so that they can ship them out. But ladies and gentlemen, once that backlog is taken care of, I believe that junk silver is going to become popular, very popular, especially with those people that have yet to wake up. All right, it's going to go through the roof. All right. Yes, I agree 100%. If you can grow a garden, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing wrong with that. Even if you don't need it right now, grow it. And that way you can learn how it grows in your area, etc. Let's see. You know what? Who is this? Helen Brown. How are you doing? Rudy, will you talk about the details of the best way to purchase XRP or Ripple and move it to a cold wallet? I trust you. So I always have to take a short question and turn it into a long answer. I haven't purchased any cryptos in years. I mean, years, ladies and gentlemen. I've got a wallet in my old computer, which I still have to get, that I have to put in all my keys and everything like that to get that wallet active again. But I haven't purchased any cryptos in a very long time. And in all honesty, when I do start to purchase cryptos again, it's going to be purely for speculative reasons, 100%. Purely for speculative reasons. I'm going to take a little bit of capital. I'm going to start to dollar cost average into a few coins that I think are going to do extremely well during the next bull run, because for those of you that don't want to admit this or come to the realization that right now cryptocurrencies are in what is called crypto winter. I do see Bitcoin, which is what I call the reserve currency of cryptocurrencies, because everything is pretty much priced in Satoshis, right? I see Bitcoin going down. I don't want to insult anyone, but if you're holding, hopefully it's for the right reasons for the mid to long term so that you can profit, make some fiat currency and then turn it into real stuff. I see it going down, ladies and gentlemen, to, I would say, at least $35,000. And I would see it going down to as low as probably like 21, 22,000. All right. The reason I say to as low as 22,000 is because I believe that was the last high before it started popping up and going to all-time highs, before it started its last bull run. All right. So it's always nice to see something come back to where it started, at least during the last cycle, and then pop back up. I think that Bitcoin is going to get down at least at the minimum under 40,000. And disclaimer, I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to start dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin through a brokerage account. All right. And I know many people will say, oh, you got to take it offline and put it in a cold wallet and all that kind of stuff. I'm doing it 100% for speculative reasons. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to start dollar cost averaging in little by little, maybe on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis. After it breaches the $40,000 mark, and then I'm going to bring it all the way down, and I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging all the way up until it reaches $50,000 per Bitcoin. And the reason I'm stopping at $50,000 is because I believe that the next bull run on Bitcoin is going to be to $500,000. And I know a lot of people are going to say, you're crazy. Bitcoin is nothing. It's there. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, the only reason I would do it is because I want to make enough money so that I can get out of it with a nice profit and then turn that fiat currency into real money, into something that's real, that doesn't disappear in air. All right. Like digits, on a screen and or fiat paper currency. So I can't really advise you on what to do with Bitcoin or crypto or put it into a cold wallet or hard wallet because I haven't done it in so long. I just haven't. I wouldn't feel very comfortable, giving you any kind of advice like that. Hey, there's Copernicus. How you doing, Copernicus? Good to see you. Always very nice to see you here. Miss Worm, I know. Ladies and gentlemen, Copernicus, Miss Worm used to be Copernicus when she first started moderating here in the AP channel. So that's what I still call her. Right. All right. So I'm going to bring it on down. So if you can stop asking questions or comments right now that you want me to read out loud until I'm done with my next spiel. All right. Because we're going to go into the bad and the ugly of what silver and gold may be doing in the short term from a layman's perspective, who's not a professional technical analyst or anything like that, ladies and gentlemen. It's just the way that I see it from a layman's perspective. And since most people in the US are laymen, then I'm hoping that you can relate to the way that I'm explaining it to you. And hopefully you will go out there and do a little bit more research on your own before you take any kind of action. Okay, all right, let's see. Let's bring it. I'm going to try to bring it down. All right. I like this right here. Here you go. Nostradamus. I like this. The best way to make $10,000 in crypto is to invest $20,000. A lot of people could be saying that about people that bought silver at 120 also, right? It's just, it all comes down to why are you doing it? Why are you buying silver? Oh, I want to make money. I hope that you're ready to wait for a long time because that's really, at least in my opinion, not what it's for. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I see a lot of people saying, yeah, crypto's terrible and no, crypto's good. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, me personally, the only thing that I do with cryptos or have done in the past, I haven't done anything for cryptos in years, is just a way to speculate and hopefully make a profit so that I can take that profit and turn it into something real. Okay. Okay, bringing it down. Okay, we're at the bottom. All right, so now we are going to go into a second segment of this live stream, and that's going to be the opposite of what I started it with. I started this live stream with the good things, the good fundamentals about silver, about why it's a great mid to long-term play. More so a long-term play than mid-play, but it's a great mid to long-term play, in my opinion. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to share my screen with you so that you can take a look at the charts that I've looked at. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that are different than what I've shown you in the past to show you why it is that I think that in the short term, silver is going to be going down a little more than what it is now, and maybe even touching that $55, $56 handle. All right. And in my opinion, that is not a bad thing. It's a good thing because it means that we're going to confirm our last high, our last all-time high, which was right about 49, 50 bucks. And then we're going to go to the moon, in my opinion. All right. But anything can happen, especially this week. This is going to be a very interesting week to see what happens in the precious metals market and in the market altogether, really. Because we are having what I believe is the beginning of a very big liquidity problem. I think that by the middle of this year, a lot of things are going to realize that maybe people are not expecting. People think that, oh, we hit 50,000 on the Dow Jones. The economy must be great. We are doing great. But ladies and gentlemen, that 50,000 is not coming back for a while. We may touch it a few more times, but I don't think we're going to touch it again at all. All right. I could be 100% wrong, but I don't think we're touching that 50,000 again for a bit. And it's going to be on its way on a downhill slide. Right. So put on your seatbelts. Okay. Put on your seatbelts. Oh, well, Copernicus, have a good night. Thank you for joining in for a little bit, at least. It's really good to see you. All right. Very, very good to see you. I hope you're doing really good. All right. So let's go ahead and share my screen with you. And you can see me over there. Let me go ahead and do this. And I'm going to explain to you all what it is that you're seeing. Man, can you see everything all right, ladies and gentlemen? Are you able to see everything okay? Can you give me a 1 if you can still see me all right? Because my system here looks messed up. I just want to make sure that you can see me okay. That you can see at least. Yes? Okay, good. All right, because on my side, it's kind of messed up. But as long as you can see it, that's what matters to me. So if you can see the screen right here that I've got, let's see, I'm going to bring this. Let's bring this a little bit more so you can see it well. I'm going to get rid of this right here. So right now what we're looking is we're looking at the silver chart, okay? Let me see. I just want to make sure that you can see it all right. All right, so we're looking at the silver chart right now. And what we're looking at is we're looking at it in the weekly, all right? So we're looking at it in the weekly, and the weekly doesn't look that great. So you'll see that right here is the current week that we're still running, all right? And you'll see that here last week, we ended the week down. But what I see here, of course, is a double top, but more so, ladies and gentlemen, all right, more so than a double top. I don't really know the name of this candle, right? But the candle that you're looking at right here, this candle right here, this candle is engulfing this previous candle. So this was our highest right here. This was our highest weekly close ever, right? Our highest weekly close ever. And then right here, this next weekly close, this candle engulfed this one, meaning that it had a higher meat. Look at that wick. Goodness gracious. This is the week that we went to all-time highs, 121 and change. But the meat of this candle, or the solid part of this candle, is above the solid part of this candle, and it's below the solid part of this candle. I think this is called a bearish engulfing candle, right? I may be wrong in the name, but this is not good. And this is on the weekly. And another thing that I noticed here is that we have confirmation that we're going to continue to go down, meaning making lower lows for a little bit. I'm not sure how many weeks, all right, because this is the weekly chart. But we have confirmation right here with this candle closing below this line right here. We have confirmation that we're going to continue going lower for a few more weeks. And obviously, you know how the market works. It could be that this week we shoot up to $200 an ounce, right? But this right here, looking at it from the technical analysis point of view, being that I already talked about the fundamentals, this shows that we may be going down for a few weeks. And maybe, you know, continue to consolidate, or maybe continue to go down and hit that 200-day moving average, which is, well, no, this is on the weekly. The 200-day moving average that we hit is probably going to be around here, somewhere in this area, around the 54, 55 mark. But we'll go to the daily here in a minute or so, and I'll show you where I think it's going to go to if this confirmation plays out and it continues to go down. Another thing, looking at the weekly, all right, because most people look at these charts on the 4 hour or the 1 day, but looking at it on the weekly, if you take a look at the MACD, which is kind of like the trend, you look at the trend and it's about ready to close this red line. If if it crosses this red line right here, it's confirmation that we are under this line right here, but in a trendy way, meaning that it's going to continue. So it'll be interesting to see in the next week or so or two to see if this line crosses over this line right here. And this is the MACD. And a lot of people ask me, what program is this? This is called TradingView, and it is a free program. You can just type in TradingView on Google and it'll bring you to it, and it's a free program. I think you have to give them your email or something like that. But they do have tranches where you can pay to get more things, like, you know, I can add indicators to this if I want. You know, I can put them on there if I want, you know, things like that. I can take a look at more than one indicator at a time if I want. Like this right here is your RSI. Let's take a look and see what look at our RSI. All right, so this is another indicator that you look at to see if the market's been overbought or oversold. And you can see that whenever it goes above 70 right here, it's oversold, right? But right now it's about in the middle, right? So right now it's about getting towards the middle. Around 50 is where it's kind of neutral. And then if it gets down here, it means that it's oversold and is getting ready to go back up to do a reversal. So this right here is overbought, meaning that a lot of people have gotten into it and the market needs to cool down a little bit, right? But looking at the MACD and then looking at this indicator right here, especially with this candle right here, it's telling me that the market is probably going to go down. Now let's take a look at the daily. That way I can show you the 200-day moving average. And then I'm going to show you one other thing that's way off on left field that makes me think that the market is still going to go down some in the short term, ladies and gentlemen, in the short term. So if you take a look right here, this is the daily, and you can see right here that where it says sell, let me take that out of there. That way it's easier for you to see. And you can see right here, well, let me put this on. I guess I have to have that on. But where it says sell right here, you see how it crossed the line? Even on the daily, it's gone below that 9-day, okay? And I've discussed with you before that this pattern right here looks like a bear flag pattern as well. And then you're going to see our next resistance is going to be right below 70. So if it crosses below 70, if it closes any day below 70, more than likely we are going to go ahead and visit the low 60s. And then we can also go ahead and visit this 200-day moving average, which is sitting around 52, between $52 and $54, because there's a lot of support right there in this area. There's a lot of support. So that's the worst that I see it getting. I don't see it crashing all the way back down to like $20 like some people have been saying. But if you also take a look at the MACD on this one, you'll see that the sentiment is going downward as well. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, this, in my opinion, is all. Let's go ahead and remove this. This is all good news, in my opinion. You know, all of the bad things that I've shown you, in my opinion, is good news. Okay, because the market can't just go straight up. That would be catastrophic if the market just keeps going straight up. All right, it would mean that bad things are happening, really bad things are happening, and the market needs time to cool down a little bit in order so that it can continue that upward trend. And by the market cooling down or even getting down to that 200-day moving average, in my opinion, is a great thing. Not from the technical analysis point of view, but that people that maybe haven't been able to stack how much they want to stack, they can get it on the cheap. It's like a blue light special, one of those old Kmart blue light specials. That's what I'm going to look at it as, is a Kmart blue light special. If it dips below 60, I'm a buyer. Absolutely. All right. I won't be dollar cost averaging in below 60. I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to buy whatever I can buy. And I think that junk silver is going to be one of my big purchases if I end up going to buy some more. All right. So that's what I see as far as gold and silver. Oh, you know what? I forgot to show you something that I think is important. This is something that I checked as well that hadn't really checked before. I just decided to go ahead and take a look at it. So I'm going to show you all, disclaimer, I do have a stock, a small holding on a mining stock or a mining company that I purchased. It's called AG, but I'm not telling you to buy it, ladies and gentlemen. Do your homework. But something that I looked at this mining stock is I took a look at the MACD. Right now, I just explained to you all what the MACD is, right? So this is the MACD for this mining stock. I'm going to put it on a weekly. I want to show you something because I did the same thing that I'm doing now with this mining stock. I did the same thing with silver, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So I put this on a weekly, and I want you to take a look right here. Take a look at, let me make sure that you guys are getting this. Okay. Take a look right here in this area. You see when it started going up, pretty much parabolic, and see where it's at. Okay, so take a look at this and try to remember what this looks like. I'm going to go all the way back to 2021. I'm going to go back to all of its crashes. Now take a look at this right here. See that? It looks the same. It looks like we are completing one of the same cycles that we've completed before. But let's go back to 2016. Look, ladies and gentlemen, right when it gets to this area, this 3, you see right here, it says 3. Right when it gets to this area between 3 and about 3.5 or 3.75, once it gets in this little shaded area, what happens? Comes down, right? Same thing with this shaded area right here. Look at this. I mean, they almost line up perfect. From here to here, from here to here, they've come down. And those are the same time periods where silver has crashed as well. So this is showing pretty much the same pattern that it's shown in the past. And it may not be exactly the same, but it definitely rhymes. Another reason why I think that we're going to be going down, right? Just because this mining stock or this mining company is acting in the same manner that it's acted the last several times where silver has gotten shot down, right? So hopefully all of that stuff makes some sense to you, right? So what do we got right now? Let's see. Man, I wonder what, oh, there it is. Now I know what I did wrong. Let's see if I can fix this. There you go. I fixed my problem on my side. All right, so that's all I've got, ladies and gentlemen, as far as silver and gold are concerned in the short term and the long term. And again, look, I'm sure that there are some people out there that are way more educated in this than I am, and they look at me talking about this and they probably saying, what an idiot. But I wanted to give this to you the only way that I can, and that's from a layman's point of view. That's from my point of view. That's how I've looked at silver and gold as far as the charts go, as far as the fundamentals for years now. And it's worked pretty good for me. But what I do this for is mainly to encourage you to go out there and do it for yourselves. That way you can find the knowledge that convinces you. Because when you look for it, you learn a lot more than what you would or than you do by listening to someone else. Okay. Yes, there's no trading in China for the next week, right? That's why I said towards the beginning of this live stream that I think it's going to be a very interesting week because of that mainly. Do I watch any other miners? Yes, I have a little bit of stock. I only have stock in a couple of miners because I really don't like to play the stock market very much, but I use the stock market just like I use Bitcoin. I use it to make fiat currency and then take my profits out of there and turn it into something real. All right, that's what I use it for. The ultimate reason is to turn it into something real that I can either use in real life or that I can pass on to my children, hoping to build a little bit, at least, you know, if not some, a little bit of wealth that I can leave my children, and so that I can do the things that I want to do here while I'm still here on this earth. All right. So listen, if any of you have any questions about anything or any comments that you want to share about anything with the community, just put it all in caps. All right. And we'll see what we can do with it. If I can answer it, I will. If not, more than likely someone else can. So yeah, the other, let me go ahead and put it here. And I'm not trying to push this stock or anything like that. Okay. But just so you can go take a look at it. FFMGF. That's First Majestic It's the same company that owns AG, right? First Majestic Silver. This is First Majestic, but they're like a gold miner. They have gold mining in that, right? And I really like those two companies because they're led by the same person, Keith Neumeyer, whom I think is a really, really good guy. And from what I understand, his companies are debt free. To me, that's a huge deal when it comes to the precious metals industries. Absolutely. Prepping. You should always be doing a little bit of prepping, ladies and gentlemen. North of the 52nd says next week is a good time to focus on prepping. Silver needs a rest. Yeah, I think silver is going to be taking a rest. And I think some people are going to be losing a little bit of interest, but they'll regain it once it starts going back up. It's usually how it works. When things are on sale, people want nothing to have to do with it. But when they go up in price, they're like, oh, I got to get me some of that. Right. So yeah, but you should be doing a little bit of prepping all the time. All right. You should be filling in those gaps. Fill in those gaps with sale items. That's one of the good things about having an extended pantry is that it allows you to not run out of stuff. And once you get to like halfway of your stock, you usually find it on sale and you can buy those things on the cheap instead of paying full price. Let's see. Forrest asked, why is there no trading in China this week? It is their Lunar New Year, their holiday. Evita, how you doing? Evita, I'm not sure if you were here during the beginning of the live stream, but I told everyone that I'm cooking some short ribs right now, and I've got your what is that you call sofrito? I've got your sofrito on it, and it smells great in here. All right, so I'll be eating that here in a few minutes once I get off. Broke Stacker, how you doing, Broke Stacker? Good to see you here. Which will we see first, 59 silver or 150? I sure as heck hope that we see 59 silver first. Actually, I hope that we see 54 silver. I would really love to see silver touch that 200 day on the daily. I would love to see it touch the 200 day, and then after that is off to the races. But I hope we see $59, $54 silver first. And I think that's what we're going to see. You know, I hate giving predictions because, you know, like I said, I'm not an expert, but I think that's what we're going to see from what I've seen. But I could be 100% wrong. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. Sadia, how you doing? Good to see you. Did you hear about the Texas bullion vault? Don't they already have a bullion vault? Yeah, they have a depository in Texas already. They've had it for I think a couple of years now, and I did hear that Texas is going to start to mint a couple of coins, Texas coins, a gold one and a silver one, which they look beautiful. So hopefully next year when I go down to Texas to visit, I'll be able to pick me up one of each coin. That'll be pretty cool. But yeah, the depository that they have in Texas for bullion. Let's see, Alpha Omega Gold, which is sponsor of this channel. That's where they store their metals. So if somebody gets an IRA or if they just buy a whole bunch of physical that they want to store there, that's where they store their customers' metals at. So yeah, definitely I've heard about it. Yeah, I'm hoping for that too. If I see $50 silver, JD Min, I will be backing up my truck. Oh yeah, Evita, trust me, this is not going to be a very long live stream because I can smell it right now. It's done cooking, all right? And I will be digging into that. It's actually past my dinner time. I usually eat around 2:30, 3 o'clock. As soon as we're done here, I'll be digging into that, all right? And Michael loves meat as well, so he's going to be coming down here in a few minutes after I'm done with the live stream. I'm going to hang out with him for a little bit, and I'm sure that he'll be eating some of that as well. Okay, I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Unless you have something for me, it's about an hour and 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Let me go ahead and do a little bit of begging first, okay, before I sign off. And I know there's not that many of you here, but take a look at the video I put out this morning. And ladies and gentlemen, the way that you can support me the best way is by just watching my videos, giving them a like, letting an ad run through to like 30 seconds. That tells YouTube that you like the video enough to let an ad run through to like 30 seconds, and it helps me out. And take a look at the links that I leave in the description of all of my videos. If you're going to get that stuff anyways, use my link. It helps me out as well. The Ion Light is still in back order. I think if you order them now, they'll get to you like the first week of March or something like that. But go check out my video with the Ion Light, or go check it out, because I think that's an awesome little light. And I wouldn't be telling you unless I thought it was awesome, and it is. So those are the ways you can help. Give videos a like, share them if you can, because ever since YouTube started using that Genesis 6 AI to moderate videos and push them out, man, things are pretty rough, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Elvo says, what is the possibility to get together when you're in Texas? I don't know. I don't really do greet and meets, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just not that type of a guy. But when I go down there, I'll probably let you all know that I'm headed down there. Maybe if I'm nearby where you are, or where a few of you are, then we can maybe set something up to go have dinner or something like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm all for, hanging out with a few people at a time, but it just, crowds really aren't my thing. Having a lot of people around is really not my thing. Linda Bob, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you, Linda. God bless you as well. Thank you. This is an awesome community. All right. I think we're ready to sign up. Let's see. Bob got his Ion Light. That's awesome. Yeah, something that I don't say often enough. I definitely don't say this often enough, and it's because I think they already know that I love them, right? But thank you very much to my moderators, right? We're down to 3. Copernicus had to take off because she lives in the UK, and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning over there, all right? But we still have Evita here, and we also have Scott. So thank you both very much. Let's see. Hey, who knows, ladies and gentlemen? Maybe I'll have to rent me a little Sprinter van, like a little RV, maybe next year, and just travel the entire United States. Me and Lulu, right? With Lulu. So who knows? We'll have to think about that. That sounds like it would be fun. Let's see. Art and Soul, how you doing? I ordered 5 lights and 10. Oh, that's awesome. I think you're going to really like them. I think that they're an awesome product. And for those of you that maybe didn't get the notification, I did a review video, I think it was on Friday, on a biometric gun safe that is awesome for an awesome price. All right. It wasn't a sponsored video or anything like that. I just bought it from Amazon because I need one, because I have a little rugrat running around the house. So, and I want to make sure that my firearm, that my home defense tool is easily accessible in case I need it. So I got a couple of biometrics, and these things are awesome. They're automatic. They pop out right away as soon as you put your fingerprint on them, but they're really cool. Let's see. We have a very important question, and it definitely is, because the United States of America is the melting pot of the world, and culture is to be shared, not kept. So United States, Dale says, what is sofrito? Sofrito is like I would say a Hispanic cultural spice. And the reason I say Hispanic and not individually Dominican or Puerto Rican or Cuban is because a lot of Hispanic cultures have something that's similar to sofrito. And it's just it's like a pre-made spice packet, and it's usually in the wet form. So the reason that we do that is so that we can have it readily available. So when we need to use it, it's like a base of spices that you take a scoop, you throw it down with your meat or your rice or whatever dish it is that you may be cooking, and it's got all of the spices that you would normally use without you having to go to each individual spice, right? So at least in Dominican households, right, and Puerto Rican households, we grow up with that, and a lot of people make their own, right? I normally make my own as well. I have in the past, but I only cook for myself normally, so it's pretty easy for me to pick out the spices that I need on an everyday basis. Do a world tour like the big stars. I don't think I'll be doing that, ladies and gentlemen. No world tours here. All right. That's what it is. It's like a Hispanic pesto. That's pretty much, you pretty much got that one right on the money. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and call it good for today. Thank you very much for joining in. God bless every single one of you. And listen, if you are holding physical, all right, don't be discouraged. If the price goes down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some more, because I know that in the end, when I need it, it's going to be there for me. First of all, it's going to be there. It's not going to disappear. And it is, depending on what time frame we're talking about, not in the short term, but in the long term, it's definitely going to preserve your purchasing power and keep the government from stealing from you your wealth that you work so hard to gain. So again, God bless every one of you. I love every one of you. So remember that. God bless America always. I am Alaska Prepper, and I am, just a second, I got to push the button. I am out. Goodbye. God bless you all.